A while back, if you follow our channel, you'll remember that we put a bed crane in this C10 1976 Chevy. What we're going to show you now is to take that bed crane up another notch and how to add a winch to it. We have a hand winch that we picked up, and we're going to show you how we're going to modify our crane on the pickup and add that hand winch to it. The hand winch is necessary because the crane only has a little chain on it, and you actually can't lift something off of the ground. You can lift it off of a certain height into the pickup bed, but we want to be able to lift it off the ground. So we've got here a hand winch with 2,000 pound capacity. It's 25 feet of wire rope. Well, we're not going to need that much, but nonetheless it's on there. And we're going to use this and hopefully work with a pulley here and come up with a way to mount it onto the crane in the pickup bed. We'll unbox this little puppy and see exactly what we've got. It's got all this packing tape on it. It almost makes me think that somebody returned this once, so hopefully everything's okay with it. But we'll see what we have. We don't care about the box. We're going to end up throwing it away. Oh, drill method. But as I said, we already didn't care about the box, so it's open. Now, we've got a handle right there. And here we've got the actual winch itself. Safety and owner's manual. It's probably more like the lawyer's paper. Not much here to tell us about, maybe a little bit. And it's really a trailer winch. We got one that would handle way more than the weight we can handle. So we got 2,000 pound capacity. Here we've removed the actual extendable boom from the bed crane that we've got in the pickup. We've also taken out the bolt, hardware, and our original chain and hook. Because in order to use that winch, we're going to need a pulley. Now, we looked at this pulley we had in stock, but if you were to see it, and it's probably impossible in the video because of the glare, that only has a 480 pound capacity and would have required us to cut this section out. So we ran out and got this Tough Tug, made in USA. We got this at Tractor Supply for about $18. And we've checked, and it's going to fit in here perfectly. So that's going to be our next step, is to add this in place of the original piece that came with the Harbor Freight crane. Now this is a Harbor Freight winch, somewhere around $30 for that, including tax. And this is somewhere around $18, including tax. Capacity on this is 1,000 pounds. So it will work just fine, because we have a 1,000 pound crane, a 1,000 pound pulley assembly, and a 2,000 pound winch. We'll attach this permanently, and then we're going to show you how we're going to attach the winch to the crane. Here we are back at the bed crane with the boom portion actually out of it. This is just the base portion of it. The sliding boom's still out. We have our winch here. One of the issues I looked at was the idea that you could stick the winch right on top, which looks like, oh, that's a great solution, except you're never going to be able to have a tonneau cover in case you want to do that, which I do, because sometimes you'd want to keep your stuff out of sight of somebody so it's not going to get stolen, or maybe you just want to keep it out of the weather. Putting this particular winch on top is just too tall. It's above the height of the bed. If I move the camera up just slightly, you can see that. Putting the winch up top for you to really see with the camera adjusted. You can see how high this is. This is way above the bed. We're not just talking the handle, but this is above the bed. That's not going to be my solution then. My solution is going to be to mount it on the side. Now this is on the side towards you, which would be the side that comes to nearer the pickup bed, and that would limit where the crane could be, since I want the crane to stow properly. As a result, the answer is to actually put it on this side here, on the side of the fixed portion of the crane, if I put it there, when I were to swing this around, it's going to be on this side, where it's away from the pickup bed, and it would allow me to put the crane clear over here and keep things out of the way. That's the way I'm actually going to mount it. I'm going to weld it on there. And that's going to be the next step, is we're going to weld it in that position. Now, one negative, notice they have their weights here. I'll write the weights up top on the crane if I need to solve that problem. It's all welded together, assembled. I've set it up for 600 pounds. And what we're going to do is we're going to lift this engine block over here into the truck bed using the winch and the crane. I'll show you how ultimately useful this is. There we go. There it is. Lift it with the winch here. That's about all we can do, because I've got this pulled back as far as it will go. Next thing is, we'll be able to jack this up. With the jack handle in here, it limits my stroke a bit, which I probably could come up with a shortened handle, but for now I'm going to use the long one. Or I might need a handle that's got a curve in it. But you see, it's not exactly fast that way, so I'll probably come up with a modification for that, so you can actually use it considering the position of the winch. You know, maybe a handle with a curve that puts it over to the side here. We'll see what I'll do for the future, but it is possible now to lift stuff in and out of the bed. I went and grabbed for the moment a handle that is from another tool where I don't actually need to use the handle. I'll just use it for the moment. I can actually lift it up with this really quite easy. It's a little undersized right now, so making a shorter handle or shorten the handle that came with it is probably what I'll do. But it's getting the job done real nicely. There you can see the block swung into the bed. Put it down with the crane. I had to use the pliers because remember I'm going to have to modify the handle to get it down to size where it can be used. But that is one heck of a way to load an engine block or something else heavy in and out of the bed. Now that you've watched how to add the winch to the bed crane, we should tell you there are a couple more things that you would probably like to know. Like, for example, we did add 1/4-inch spacers below our bed crane. This was kind of mentioned when we initially put the bed crane in, but we've added them now. And they are 1/4 inch thick, about 1 inch wide, and about 5.5 inches long. They're necessary so that you're actually clamping everything finally in place and you're actually pulling on the brackets we did in the first video. Also, when you look at our winch, we found in actually using it that the cable fits the teeth on the one gear perfectly. And when you get it to a certain point in unwinding it and winding it back up, it'll catch in the teeth. So we added a nice little rounded guard to the winch itself. That came from another electric winch of all things, and the leftover piece we had. We welded that on there as a guard. Sure, it'll eventually wear out, but the number of times we're using this, it's going to be a long time down the road, and we could always replace it. But you're going to want to add a guard over that gear. Furthermore, up here at the front, we've built a little holder for our bed crane because we didn't want it to be rattling around all the time. That's made out of 1/4 inch steel that we had bent up into a U shape at Prescott Steel, And we added a piece of all thread, and of course drilled and threaded our mount, and drilled through our actual bed for our mount for the crane here. Works really good. And we lined it with a piece of about 1/8 inch thick neoprene rubber that was contact cemented in place. So you've got a nice place you can lower the crane into, so now it doesn't rattle around when you're driving it, because the pin that they give you with the Harbor Freight crane, yeah, it'll stop it from moving a huge amount, but it still moves side to side. Now it won't do that. So those are a few things we thought you might find of additional use. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you later.